What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the YCS dinging the market. It didn't wreck it this time. With ban list fears as well as a bit of ban list hype that we covered in the last video, people aren't spending all that much money on the metagame right now compared to collections, future support for formats, and surfacing Big Jaws is kind of one of those bigger movements where it over doubled in price from its showing. Being able to Bahamut and Toad here in 2025 still feels good. So this has really gone crazy in some of its sales. I've seen a ton of these $13 popping up, and it made more sense when it was being bought at the $10 mark during that maximum hype down here, but it also could be towards other regions or maybe a little normalized to people on the graph. It's cooled down quickly versus that 10 though, right? And then it's towards almost $50 for the quarter century secret rare, with a ton of sales leading up to this in the 40s at this point. So huge kudos to taking a first place slot, and I think it's pretty awesome. Now, Maze was a game changer. 7th Tachyon did good, but everything's falling in price right now except for Perulia, who short printed, it feels like. But there's only one card worth the price of a box, and that's 7th Tachyon. And the collector rare is kind of low on quantity still, and everything else is populating because the vendors got back from events during the week and they sat down. The ones who were going to crack the set ended up cracking and listing, and there's way more quantities. If I was a vendor right now, Man with the Mark, selling into that hype would feel pretty nice for this one. If I was opening the set, it's still at around $11, so it's still above that 10 that it started at, and a lot of people did make sales at that $13 freaking mark. The profile for that's over on Galzo's channel, by the way. Now, Perulia being the new triple tactic thrust short in the set, it also could even be in Stampede, is why people aren't just rushing at this collector rare, which is already mid-max for the card. It could be in that slot and have another collector rare, but I don't know that Konami would do that so soon. But that reprint was so good, let's do it again, is something they do all the time. I get why people aren't jumping on this one. Silent Magician level 8 and 107 are going for lower than I thought they would initially. And then a lot of the collector rares original to the set that are really unlikely to end up with any kind of competing reprint for a very long time unless they start Starlight collections like they do quarter century secret rares. They're pretty low for what they are, in my opinion, and it might be good to get them, but the collector rare market has really just tanked ever since those rarity collection sets. Let's just call them that when it comes down to Bonanza, Stampede. It's rarity 1, rarity 2. It said rarity 3 for the set number, right? Now on the second page here for Penny Stonks, there is Duke of Demise. I really like this one. It is down a little under pre-sales, and then Ancient Gear Statue is very affordable versus all those Ancient Gear buyouts that happen. Gallic Granite is going up for the Odeon stuff. It's able to search Heavenly Prison as well as Nibiru, so multi-use, and it's a pretty darn good card in general with only 2 printings. And I don't know that this one sees something like Stampede. I don't know that it's that iconic, right? Even though it has appeared in Top Cut several freaking times, probably more than several. The Black Goat Laughs spiked a while ago. We covered that, but it's really stabilized after its spike. Check this out. It's actually still market price up there, and it's towards 29 to quickly $30-ish on this front page. So just be aware that this tech is hanging in there even with a lot of people selling off meta cards right now. King Sarcophagus quarter century secret rare is going up, and I did not know that people were thinking about mixing this with Galaxy of all things. I mean, the Horus Engine's very cool. A lot of people have it, and this secret rare has held in there in price for the most part. Even though the graph is a bit downwards, it's down like 50 cents. It's towards a $5 card still for the most part, so that's impressive. But the Galaxy hype train is real, even though this is often bested as worst Blue Eyes in my book, and the Galaxy players take offense in the comment section. It's still a compliment to some degree. It means it's tier 3 operable most of the time. We'll see if the new support takes it to that next level finally, or if it's just worst Blue Eyes again. But Cypher X Dragon has spiked ridiculously. It only has that 1 printing. It is towards $13 lowest right now. Full Armor quarter century secret rare, luckily you have other pickup options for this, is towards $10, and the quarter century secret Rare for Afterglow Dragon, which you have other options for, is also now spiked towards $10 from $5. So a couple double ups. If you're a Max Galaxy Eyes holder, you're doing pretty well getting ahead of that curve. Silly Hat Rabbit, or Silly Hat Rabbit, whatever you want to call it, the Ultimate Rare is up, and the Secret Rare is up even further. Trap Good Stuff mixing with Odeon, of course. It is towards $25 and already had some simmerings of hype a little bit before the result. We have Blackluster Soldier Platinum Secret getting bought out. I know it's not a quarter-century Secret Rare for once. I'm going to give a bit of a history reminder, though, so the people buying these out might not like what I'm going to say the most. This has spiked from $3 to $4, which is reasonable, towards a low of $12. I don't think I would ever spend over $8 on this specific version, even as somebody who collects a lot of different versions of BLS. Jinzo, one of my favorite cards, has gone from $3, you see the spike in the graph, to lowest 12 as well. And then Winged Dragon of Ra, which has a ton of attention on its quarter-century Secret Rare, they went for this Platinum too, at $13, all the way from $4. Now, could this stick the landing at 6 to 8 and the people who bought it out make money? Sure, but I want to remind you that for all the Platinum buyouts, from Rarity Collection 2, and I know this is a struggling set compared to a successful set that has a lot going for estimated value pulled versus those boxes actually going up, remember, this didn't exactly repopulate. Look at all these low numbers on the page, 21, 25, 24. There's not a ton of these cards. How many Platinum Secrets are on this front page? Spoiler, 0, after all those buyouts that happened. You want to guess how many are on the second page? The exact same number as the page 2. You have the currently relevant Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, so it takes a knee-jerk reaction to actual relevancy right now, and then it is one of the most demanded quarter-century Secret Rares in the set at Crossout Designator, being around $7 to $8. These Platinum buyouts didn't stick. The attention goes to the quarter-century Secret Rare, and I feel like people are trying to get ahead of the next big buyout for the set with all the hype that already circulated through the front part. I do think some of these will end up being profitable to those that did participate, but I don't think they're going to make the juice that they think they're going to, but they are actually managing to get some sales at 12 right now. I just would not be biting at all. And on Jinzo, they're getting, I mean, what the quarter century I think originally was actually towards, if I'm not mistaken, like early on. Now, a lot of these are towards 8s, 6s before, and you can see you could have bought this at $3 at one point. People could even be doubling down into the buyout to try to cause a stampede of buyers or some FOMO, but I just feel like these didn't stick for Rarity 2, and I have a feeling, at least in the immediate, I don't know about long term, but in the immediate, I don't feel like it's going to get that double, triple, quadruple down surge of hype when the quarter century Secret Rares are sitting right over there, and then they're also capped as lower than mid-max versus a lot of versions of the originals when it comes to these cards. Red Eyes Black Dragon quarter century Secret Rare has buyouts. Of course, we couldn't leave without a couple QCR buyouts. Its alter art is pretty cool, and people were waiting for alternate forms of getting this. It has gone ridiculous, though, versus what it was. You can see most of the sales used to be around 33, and then it started to bubble 38. People started buying all the QCRs, and now the lowest is 80. Quick Draw Synchrons, a pretty good past format card. The lowest is from a unverified seller around 10, and then the next one is around 14, and our first near mint verified seller is $15, and you can see the sales are bubbling up towards the 12s, 13s already, pushing that direction. Magical hats, really? Y'all. This is apparently an Edison tech for setting gear towns, and they were talking in the Discord about how bad that is, and they're like, it's getting bought out because it's funny bad. And What are you doing? Magical hats buyout to $37. QCR buyouts are going too far. It is also an anime card on the back end. You can see recent sales weren't even double digit for a lot of them, but one person did buy it at 20. Most of these were 6 to 8. I guess there's also that YouTube show about magical hats. And Wave Motion Cannon, my first regional top was with Burn and Goat using 3 Wave Motions install and Final Countdown. It was like a pretty bad 52 card deck looking back, but it worked at the time because Des Wombat wasn't printed yet. Des Wombat killed Goat, Burn being a thing. This is towards $17 at this point, lowest listed, and you can see the buyouts didn't even double digit to get to that point because sellers weren't listing to prevent any kind of buyout or try to capitalize on one. The highest sale was 6. So I think quarter century secret rare buyouts are out of control. I think a lot of people are going wild. Congrats, actually, if you had the foresight to go in and get those entire sets when Tier 0 sold them. I do wonder if they'll be doing that again, but it's so hard to get them, and so many have gone up from Bonanza. I think the nostalgia pool being a thing itself has proved next level for a set like this, and it will be interesting to watch once the quarter century secret rare whole show is over. They're not going to print anymore. What actually happens towards these? Again, my prediction is people trying to force the hype a couple years down the road before the 30th promotion gets announced and cash out. I think that's going to be people's game personally, but you never know where the market's going to go. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't see the future or know your budget, that kind of stuff. All I can do is make my predictions for entertainment purposes. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy those more in-depth conversations, and let me know what you think of how ridiculous this set's getting to where they're going for the platinums like Rarity 2, even though we've seen the history on that.